Right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is This is How Camels Flirt and Other Answers to Questions You Didn't Ask. This is coming from Casual Geographics. Let's check it out.
So a lot of people think camels spit their stomachs out their mouth to cool off. I would love to freak y'all out and say it's true, but what it really is an inflatable extension of the soft palate. You know that soft upper part in the back of your mouth? This flesh balloon is called a doula, and male camels spit them out to get a female's attention or to flex their dominance. The sand donkey will even add foam to it as a sign that they're ready for mating season, and they'll go into this thing called rut. And rut is when a male animal like a camel becomes a horny menace to society. Their testosterone skyrockets, they become much more aggressive, and they start doing the absolute most to get their willy wet. It's like their version of spring break. So if a he camel ever does this while looking at you, he either wants to fight you or...
Yeah.
You better hope he just wants to fight you. If you wear green around this bird, it might try to have sex with you. Imagine if I just ended the video right there and didn't explain myself.
Nah, you're gonna have to explain in depth.
This fat flightless parrot is a kakapo, and if it's not the most down bad thing on the planet, it's definitely top 5. They're so rare that they're only found in New Zealand, and there's only like 200 of them left. So to get a date, the male kakapo will sit in a hole in the ground and make a loud booming call for 6 to 8 hours a day, every day for about 4 months. But because they're so rare, he could put in all that work and still end up getting less action than a white crayon. Which is why this bird looks like it listens to Drake. It's like a guy...
Wait, are there white crayons? Probably.
Swiping on anything with a pulse on Tinder and still ending up with no matches.
Guys,
and
I haven't touched crayons in probably 20 years, guys. I'm sorry if that question is ridiculous. I just don't know what reason you would need it. Maybe for shading purposes, potentially.
Like that guy, this bird is down horrendous. Because the kakapo will get so desperate that he'll try to mate with a bird from a different species, and somehow it gets worse than that. Sometimes they'll even hook up with a fallen branch or an extra curvy piece of driftwood because eventually they just stop giving a
right.
Except, you know, to the driftwood. And that fact is why this is exactly what it looks like. Should have picked a different shirt, good buddy. And considering just how happy this parrot is and how this guy's just letting it happen, this is definitely not the first time. Moral of this video, if you were green in the jungles of New Zealand, the chances of flightless parrot CSIs the back of your head may be low, but nature will...
Flightless, how did it... So it climbed up your back and you just allowed it to climb up your back and... Oh, ew.
Won't allow it to be 0.
Ew. I hope the back of your neck is wet, bro.
TikTok doesn't give a warning, I will. If you're squeamish in any way, this might not be the video for you, good buddy. Most of these sharks are blind, and it's all thanks to a parasite that scrapes its eyeballs until it causes permanent vision-ending damage. That parasite is a crustacean called a copepod. It's kind of like getting an eyelash stuck in your eye, except it's alive, it feeds off of your cornea, and it's stuck there for life. But it's actually not that bad. Greenland sharks have a strong sense of smell, which is why they can survive getting Ray Charles'd. And to be fair, they don't really use their eyes for much anyway. As bad as it looks, and yet it does look bad.
Right.
The parasite actually helps the shark out by basically serving as a fishing lure, which attracts fish that the shark would normally be too slow to catch. Even though the shark basically gets its eyes gouged out, it ends up better off because it has a better chance of catching more food. Also, some scientists believe this parasite might be bioluminescent, and if that's true, they glow in the dark, which attracts more food for the shark they're living off of. When you choose someone's eyeballs to blindness and live on them rent-free, helping with groceries is the least you can do. I feel like in every video, there's at least one sentence that no other person has ever said, and that was definitely it.
Yeah, that's...
I'm just gonna get one thing out the way. Please don't block me. This is what their mouth looks like. Up to 300 needles to help.
Oh yeah, he talks about this shark, the fringe shark.
Keep fish in place, meaning like any toxic relationship, once it's attached, you're not getting away. So
yeah,
the biggest...
But those new images that I've just seen of this shark right here, yeah, horrendous. I don't really want nothing to do with it, bro.
Ones can grow to like 6.5 feet long. But they're perfectly harmless, and even if they weren't, this satanic fleshlight usually lives hundreds if not thousands of feet below the surface. They were kind of the blueprint for sharks because frilled sharks have been around for about 80 million years.
Okay, not fringe sharks. Field sharks?
Times must have been different back then because this shark can be pregnant for 3.5 years, and I have no idea why. They got their name because of the gill slits on their throat that some dude apparently decided looked like frills, I guess. Also, you've probably never seen one because they're built to live in the freezing depths of the ocean where the pressure would insta-kill you. Which means if you take them out and bring them to the surface, they would die almost instantly. Their favorite food's squid, so unless you're a cashier and neighbors with a pineapple, you have nothing to be afraid of. If anything, they should be afraid of us because sometimes they get caught in trawling nets and that's basically their series finale. This guy was recorded off the coast of Japan in 2007, but by the looks of it, I don't think he lived long after this video. Actually, not that bad, but therapy ain't cheap, so don't look them in the mouth. You ever just sit and wonder just what sloths are? Even if you didn't, I'm still making the video. Sloths are...
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a straight, ignorant guess here. I do think that they are mammals. I think that's kind of what he was about to say anyway, but I do think they're mammals. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. I don't know how many fingers they have, right? I see a face, 2 eyes, a mouth, and I guess everything has 2. Oh God, guys. Is it some type of monkey?
members of one of the weirdest families I've ever seen called
Okay, it's not a monkey.
Xenartha. And that family reunion includes sloths,
Xenartha.
anteaters, and armadillos. And one of the main things they have in common are those massive claws. Armadillos use them to dig for food. Anteaters use them to dig graves for jaguars. That wasn't even a joke. They've put jaguars in coffins. And sloths use them to hang from trees.
Okay.
Because that's the best they can do. Now, the family they're in, Xenartha, they're most related to the Afroteer family. And their cookout includes aardvarks, elephants, shrews, and manatees. And no, I don't get it either. Which means, outside its own family, this crawling carpet's closest...
Like, I'm normally good at, like, memory recall, but for some reason, guys, the animal stuff, it's rough. I think I can learn about one species at a time pretty easily. But what he does is he throws at least 50 different animals in 8 minutes, and then it's like... You remember this animal, right? No, I remember the look of it, right? But this is frustrating. I hate not knowing things, guys. It frustrates me.
Cousins are Dumbo and the sea
That
potato.
may sound
Once
crazy.
upon a time, sloths used to be as big as elephants. And Megatherium was brolic enough to hand out fates to anyone who wanted it. But after years of terrible character development, they got demoted to a moss blanket with a face. So to answer the question that absolutely nobody asked, a sloth is just an unemployed tree armadillo and a hippie anteater. Animals you would not believe were real if cameras didn't exist. This right here, this is proof that nature just makes its own rules. It's called a maned wolf, but it's not a wolf or a fox. It's not even a cross-dressing coyote. It's kind of just its own thing. Despite technically being a type of dog, half its diet looks like it came from vegan teacher's plate. To the point where they actually have a fruit named after it. Those long legs help them see over grass, and that's all they got. And speaking of grass, the maned wolf smells a lot like something that gets cops called at zoos, and that's not a joke, it actually happened. Also, YouTube what they sound like. Nothing about them makes sense. Next are these guys.
Bro, we're on YouTube. Let us hear it.
Sun bear just looks like somebody in a bear costume after someone told him to act natural.
It
Never
does.
seen an animal look so awkward being itself. Despite being related to like polar bears and stuff, the sun bear eats fruits and insects. As a rule of nature, if you eat insects for a living, you have to have a disrespectfully long tongue, and they do not break that rule. I still can't get over this picture. This would probably scare me more than a grizzly. Sun bear just looks like it's constantly dealing with something that's way beyond our understanding. Last is the mola, also known as a sunfish. And it's only because I personally did not know they got this big. Sunfish can grow to 8 to 10 feet long and weigh 2,200 pounds. Because this overgrown water placemat is blissfully unaware of the world around it, the only time they're a threat to our way of life is when they jump onto boats and put themselves and anyone under them on a shirt. Because when you're that
this
big
has
and that
obviously
stupid, you're just a
happened,
danger to everybody. So this is actually a barnacle goose, and they have by
Do we eat those fish?
far the worst birthday of anybody. Because their parents build nests high up in the mountain cliffs where they can't get aborted by ops like the Arctic fox. But because birds have no morals, the parents don't actually feed the chicks when they hatch, and the only food is on the ground. Which means literally the day they're born, baby barnacle geese have to jump off a 400-foot cliff and pray they're still present tense by the time they hit the ground.
I probably am guessing that they're jumping to, their extinction.
Because if they don't jump, then they choose to starve. It's so bad that half the chicks that jump end up on a shirt by the end of the day. The only thing protecting them from becoming a feathery pack is a fluffy downcoat that absorbs the shock of hitting the rocks from that high. Other than that, they yeet themselves off a cliff and hope for the best. To somehow make it even worse, the noise that the parent geese make ends up attracting the Arctic fox that they were trying to get away from. These foxes will literally wait at the bottom of the cliffs for chicks to fall out the sky, meaning they can survive falling hundreds of feet just to get clapped by a fox. If they land too far from their parents, they can end up getting snatched by a raven. Moral of this video, they take baby showers way too literally.
Bro, nature is just...
The famous Gorilla Grill.
Crazy.
Bro finna drop the nastiest mixtape the jungle's ever seen. Probably a diss track on his ex called Haram's Bay. That's all the jokes I had. So yeah, that mouthpiece is a result of their diet. Mountain gorillas live in the mountains, and they eat a lot of leaves, roots, bamboo shoots, and bark, but because they live so high up, they eat less fruits than other gorillas.
Okay.
Which means their diet is high in these things called tannins, and it's actually the same stuff that makes coffee taste bitter. And after years of eating the same way vegan teacher expects us to eat, it stains their teeth almost completely black. Sometimes it's...
Okay, so, sir, if you know nothing about vegan teacher, all right? Guys, I made a video one time, okay, in response to the vegan teacher. And, bro, I'm traumatized from this email, okay? I don't know, guys. Just stay away from this person. This person is toxic, right? I get it. She's a vegan. Congratulations, right? But that's all she is. That's all she has, I guess, in her playbook. And, just stay away from her because she just, for some reason, has like army or something that's behind her and all this other nonsense. So, bro, don't even mention the vegan teacher's name because the vegan teacher is the epitome of toxicity on YouTube, guys, all right? let's continue.
And after years of eating the same way vegan teacher expects us to eat, it stains their teeth almost completely blue.
Like I almost wanted to like buy a steak very specifically to honestly eat the steak on camera while talking to this woman. I want to. God, guys. I was, just to say the least, my manager was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. That's crazy. That's going to be terrible for everything. And you're just egging her on. And I'm just like, no, I'm petty. I'm easily one of the most petty humans on this planet, guys.
Black. Sometimes it turns their tongues black too, all while giving them one hell of a smile. Moral of this video: your favorite rapper spends hundreds of thousands of dollars just for the same teeth Donkey Kong wakes up with. China, but they were developed in America in the 1800s. And even though it looks big enough to...
I'm gonna be honest, we probably eat those things, guys. Developed in America makes sense.
Tall. They're originally from China.
Guys, the chicken in the United States of America is at least 3 times the size as it is in Spain. A chicken breast in Spain, you guys will be insulted. Yeah, I mean, Americans will be absolutely insulted by the size of that chicken breast. What is going on with the chicken breast in America? The chickens... ridiculous.
They were developed in America in the 1800s. And even though it looks big enough to catch a fade
That's
with
why I don't eat
griffin,
chicken.
it's actually the feathers that make this roid rooster look bigger than it actually is. And it turns out these overgrown chickens are actually pretty calm and friendly around humans. Doesn't change the fact that I'm probably going to see this in hell. So you've probably heard of the world's happiest animal, the quokka. You've probably also heard that ridiculous rumor that they throw their children at predators in order to save themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of true. No, they don't physically hot potato their babies at dingoes. They don't have the arm strength. But if a mother quokka is being chased, as a final resort, she'll purposely loosen the muscles in her pouch, causing her little bundle of joy to fall to the ground. The screaming, writhing Joey quickly gets the predator's attention, allowing Mother of the Year to escape. But to be fair, other marsupials like kangaroos and wallabies will negotiate the lives of their children in order to make sure they get to keep theirs. Because by nature's logic, you can always make more babies, but you can't do that if you're not alive. So while mother quokkas don't actually throw their children, what they really do isn't a whole lot better.
No. Okay. All right.
You know, I never...
No, go back. Guys, he just makes my brain hurt. Like, I honestly am going to be starting to, at least very soon. I've already bought a couple of books regarding this topic. So hopefully soon I'll be like a lot less ignorant on the topic of just overall random, like animals I've never heard of or seen or probably will ever honestly encounter. Right. But the books that I purchased were purely based off of like marine biology, like these type of things. Like the ones that freak me out the most are basically everything ocean related, and it is extremely intriguing. So guys, if you know any books or any I don't know, channels I should be looking at or something like that, guys, I need to learn. And I'm asking you all to help me. I am being as humble as humanly possible. I'm telling you guys, this is my blind spot. Animals. Animals are absolutely my blind spot. And I don't like the fact that I'm just like completely like ignorant about it, guys. But I'll work on it. Listen, let me know in the comments, though, the next thing from him that I should be checking out, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can. All right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day, and enjoy your day thoroughly.